Okay, I want you to have a listen to this. That is the sound of 40 frames per second continuous shooting in a full frame camera in RAW. So as you may have guessed, this is the Canon R6 Mark III. And today we're going to take a look at it. Now there's two key main features going on here, but before we get to that, I want to talk about the build and give you a bit of an overview of what's going on in this camera. So let's start with the exterior of this camera. So like a lot of cameras in Canon's lineup, this camera also has dual card slots. So you have the CF Express Type B and of course the UHS 2 SD slot. And that's really important for getting really fast cards into this camera, because you're going to realize as we go through this video that that is very much needed. Now around the exterior of the camera, you'll see a very familiar layout to other Canon cameras. You've got dedicated photo video mode, all the dials that you need, and the part that I think is a non-negotiable in my opinion is a completely flippable screen. Overall, the camera is a little bit heavier than the previous Mark II, which if anything makes it feel a little bit more sturdy in the hand. Now I mentioned before that there's two key features with this camera, and both of these lie in the video capabilities. And the first is oversampled 4K 60p recording. Now this camera can shoot up to 7K, but what oversampled 4K specifically means is that it's actually shooting in 7K and scaling it down to 4K. The result of this is you get a really crisp, sharp video without having the huge file size of 7K. Doing this, you get a lot less noise, you get really sharp video, cleaner textures, and just more detail. A good way to think of it is it's like 4K, but better. The next feature is 7K raw light 60p recording. And I feel like this setting is game changing. You know when you're editing a raw photo and if the sky is looking blown out, you can bring it back because the details in that sky and the information in there is still in the photo. And this gives you a lot of flexibility in post-production. It also gives you a little bit more margin of error just in case your settings weren't exactly how they should have been when shooting. But the reason that people don't shoot with this all the time is because of the file sizes. Normally with a JPEG, your file sizes are between 5 to 15 megabytes. But with a raw photo, you end up with something like 70 to 150 megabytes for one photo. And that's because all that information of what the camera is looking at is captured in that. Now, normally with video, that wouldn't even be an option because firstly, the file sizes would be way too high, but secondly, the tech to pull that off is way beyond what most cameras can handle. But this camera can. And it's because they use what they've called 7K RAW light. And this gives you that flexibility of RAW so you can bring back highlights, fix exposure, push colors, and recover details in a way that feels closer to photography than video. And so you're really able to take control of how your video looks without the huge file size of RAW. And it's pretty crazy that this is even possible in a camera of this size. And so that's the video, but let's jump back into the photos for a second, because the stills performance and the specs behind it are honestly just as crazy. So, specs first. 32.5 megapixel full frame sensor, 40 frames per second continuous shooting as we saw earlier, ISO up to 102,400 for low light. For photo and video, you have the dual pixel autofocus 2, subject detection for people's, animals, and vehicles, and up to 8 stops IBIS, which is in-body image stabilization. So as usual for a Canon camera, we've got industry-leading color science, industry-leading autofocus. That combined with all the video specs, this is definitely something to consider. There's really not much more you could want in a camera. So if you're interested, head to camerahouse.com.au. Thanks for watching.